wake up and I ask myself, Katie, why are you not Iron Man? Now, pushing aside the fact that I wouldn't win the role over Robert Downey Jr., relax, he's perfect, it still bothers me that I'm not Iron Man. So the next question I ask is, why do I care? My entire life, I wanted to be a superhero, which is a dream fueled by film and television. I grew up wanting to be baby Simba in The Lion King, one of the Ninja Turtles, and Jack Sparrow. It didn't bother me that I was identifying with primarily male characters until I learned via the documentary Misrepresentation that 16% of films star women and girls, which means it's not that I'm identifying exclusively with male characters, it's that I've only got a 16% chance to identify with girls like me. Unfortunately, women in film fit specific roles. We're all white but spray-tanned, skinny young heterosexuals. We're on the sidelines yelling to our husbands, "Don't do that, babe, you'll die." Or we're seducing the hero, and if we do voice our opinions, we're bitchy. When we do get a leading role, the film can't end until we get a man to fall in love with us. Don't believe me? / don't think it's bizarre? Let's make up a film. Imagine that a man signs a magical contract, exchanging his voice for the freedom to explore the world. Plot twist, in order to stay in that world, he must find and kiss the straight love of his life within 3 days. But remember, he has to play charades 70% of the film because he can't speak. This is The Little Mermaid. I love the song, Part of Your World, but wouldn't it have been cooler if Ariel had become CEO of baseball by the end of the film? Men fit specific roles in movies too. They are not allowed to cry, for that is a sign of fragility, and fragility is weakness. They have to be in impeccable shape unless it's a comedy, and feelings are expressed through 12 to 45-second stares into the camera, somehow exemplifying both rage and pain, but a determination to not let anything stand in my way. Just for giggles, I introduce to you my arch nemesis. This is Iron Man, Mr. Potato Head. When I saw this, I thought, so we can put a potato in the flying suit of iron, but we can't put a woman? It gets worse. What would you rather see flying around on the big screen as Iron Man? Me or the Spud? Joseph Campbell identified this awesome pattern called the hero's journey, which says that every hero goes on different iterations of the same adventure. Joseph Campbell also said quests are not for women. Good thing Joan of Arc missed that memo. Which means, congratulations, you have been called forth to a quest. I know, it's exciting. Now, the first step in our hero's journey is the ordinary world, which we just established. Spud equal problem. What woke us up to this problem? The internet. Statistics about the underrepresentation of women, people of color, the LGBTQ community, and the erasure of people within these groups, particularly trans women of color, are spread like wildfire online. But every hero's journey has a refusal to the call of the quest, and our refusal is the F word, feminism. All right, hold on. Did anyone die? When you drop the word feminism, people who don't know what it means turn into Godzilla and run around screaming, "Not feminism, how dare you bring that word into my house?" To which the people who know the definition say, WTF. To calm things down, the tip of the iceberg definition is that people who fall on the gender spectrum, aka everyone who exists, achieves equality with equal pay, the right to vote, and the right to an education being examples of this. Telling my dad he's a feminist was a lot like when Hagrid says, "You're a wizard, Harry." I said, "You're a feminist, Dick." That's his name. You always were. You just didn't know there was a term for it. Once we get over that hurdle and accept the call to adventure, as Maureen in Rent says, climb on board, and we cross the threshold into this new world. This is like when Dorothy steps into Oz and there are singing munchkins everywhere. In this new world, we put Viola Davis in a flying suit of iron for 2 hours and just see what happens. We get She-Hulk, who is simultaneously the CEO of Dairy Queen. I want to see that film. In this new world, we project onto men that breaking down can be a sign of fragility, but within that fragility is incredible strength. Tears are not masculine or feminine. Tears are human. I want to see more films where the leading man is in tune with his emotions more so than the women characters, and he respects himself for honoring that. Once we're acclimated in our new world, we're gonna need some help. In every hero's journey, there's an Obi-Wan Kenobi or Glinda who assists the hero. Congratulations, I'm your fairy godmother. Why should you trust me? Because I've got a wand. And it's not any wand. This is 10 3/4 inches made of vine wood and dragon heartstring. This is Hermione's wand. The game changer in my life was Hermione. Here was this intelligent, emotionally in tune young woman who could do anything. As someone who has always seen Emma Watson as a role model of who I want to be as a girl and a woman, I cannot tell you how stupefying it was to watch her address the United Nations on attaining global gender equality. To quote, "It is time that we all perceive gender on a spectrum instead of two sets of opposing ideals." My friend Zoe Saldana will start us off on the road of trials. This is Zoe in Avatar, the first film to gross over $2 billion. She is CGI'd blue. This is Zoe Saldana in Guardians of the Galaxy, the highest grossing superhero film of 2014. Note, she is painted green and in outer space. This is Zoe Saldana in Star Trek Into Darkness, the highest grossing film in the entire Star Trek franchise. Note, she is in outer space. Now, with 3 major action films, Zoe Saldana is one of, if not the, biggest female action stars who exists. And in each film, she's not the main character. I have a question. How many colors of the rainbow do we have to paint Zoe, and how many times do we have to put her in space before she headlines her own action film? I dug deep to find my inner cynic in humanity and say it's gotta be about money. I figured there have to be a pattern of films starring women and girls that don't make as much money as films starring men and boys. Which brings us to the Bechdel test. In order to pass the Bechdel test, a film must have at least 2 women, they must interact with each other, and they have to talk about something other than men. ESPN's blog 538 did a study, and it turns out that 53% of films pass the Bechdel test, and that those films make 20 cents more per dollar than the ones that fail it. So it's lucrative. So films starring women and girls are lucrative. So an industry whose entire purpose is to make money is not investing in a foolproof plan to turn a profit. Why? Hollywood is ruled like a pyramid structure. A writer can create a script starring complex roles for women and girls, but if the executives at the top of the pyramid don't greenlight the project, it doesn't get made. The people who control Hollywood at this level are 84% male, and they are the gatekeepers to the story worlds and characters the entire planet is identifying with. Silver lining, the power in creative industries such as film, music, publishing is shifting essentially from a dictatorship to a democracy. Why? The internet. With YouTube, Darnell from Chicago can go in his backyard, film a web series, put it online, and reach an instant audience. There's no team of executives telling Darnell he can't create the content he's envisioned. With this freedom of expression, there's no one telling the audience, aka the consumers, what not to watch. The power is in the people. You are the people. As an individual, you can go online, find the diverse content you want from artists around the globe. Which brings us to the final battle in our hero's journey. I challenge Iron Man, Mr. Potato Head, I introduce to you the new team of Avengers. I am Elemental Action Figures. Don Nadeau and Julie Kerwin wanted to buy female action figures for their daughters, but couldn't find any that weren't missing clothing. In the chest. But I can't die if I get hit in my chest. Turns out you can. In response, Don and Julie made this incredible line of women action figures who represent character traits for both boys and girls to aspire to attain, such as bravery and honesty. What's great about these dolls and the power of a film world with characters who explore the gender spectrum in its infinite manifestations is that we're retraining ourselves as a society how we view masculinity and femininity, but more importantly, we're retraining our kids how to view themselves and others on a gender spectrum. And this is where I talk to you about my non-existent children and the futuristic part of the hero's journey where we are the masters of two worlds. I have two groups of imaginary kids. The first are characters in a middle grade novel I self-published called Magic. They're 5 teenage girls who get the powers of the Greek gods to go on a quest and defeat the Titans. Now in my second group of imaginary kids, we're assuming I have at least one boy and one girl. My dream is in the year 20 whatever. On Halloween, my family goes trick-or-treating as the Magic characters. If my son wants to be the main hero, Alice, he's Alice. And my daughter can choose to be the Titan Cronus. And maybe my husband will go as Athena and I'll go as Hades. Or not. Regardless of what we pick, I want any choice to not only be okay, but be widely accepted as the norm. And the next year, when we all go out as the Ninja Turtles, and I'm obviously Michelangelo, I want that to be celebrated just as much. I don't have a left shark, but I've got a golden retriever. I want the work I do today to lay a foundation that when I do have kids, they can embark on their own hero's journey and become whoever it is they're meant to be without shame. This talk is not just about what if Iron Man was a woman. It's a what if we created a society where every kid felt confident in exactly who they are. That girls can be bold and not viewed as bossy because they found the courage to voice their opinions. That boys can express their vulnerability, and when they're fragile, it's seen as a strength. That people of all shapes, sizes, ages, races, sexual orientations, gender identities, etc., are seen as their own powerful heroes, as is. So, today, when I woke up, I asked myself, Katie, why are you not Iron Man? And today, I had an answer. I'm not Iron Man because I'm Iron Woman, and she is just as epic. Thank you.